Are the judges ready? Is the timer ready? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, judges and audience. My name is Zach Wilson, and my partner Emily Forrest and I are for the resolution. The United States should amend the Military Selective Service Act to require the registration of women for the Selective Service. Definitions. The affirmative team is pleased that the negative team has accepted our definitions. Harms. The negative team has dropped harm number 3. They did not bring up anything in their 1NC about different perspectives of men and women. Harm 1, discrimination. Discrimination. The negative team brought up that women are 4 times more likely to stay at home, and that the children have a tendency to like their mom staying home and their dad's working. But as we stated in our plan, no 2 parents will be drafted in the same war, so that is not an issue. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence. As the Declaration of Independence states, all men are created equal. Excluding women from the draft is unlawful discrimination. If we draft women, we would be following the most important document in American history. Harm 2, unbalanced. Unbalanced. The negative team stated that we have enough men from the population, but I would like to have these statistics. We are living in troubled times. There are numerous countries that have strong militaries. Should one of these countries declare war, we would need to call upon every available resource to combat the threat. Since the population of the United States is unbalanced and there are more women than men, including women in the draft, with more than double our available resources of military personnel in case of such an attack. As a matter of fact, men accounted for half of all employed people in 2020, but 3/4 of workers in protective service occupations were men. Firefighters, 95.6% were men, 4.4% were women. Police officers, 82.9% were men, 17.1% were women. Detectives, 73.6% were men, 26.4% were women. Correctional officers and jailers, 68.3% were men, and 31.7% were women. As we see, men serve in the majority of these roles that are important to the safety of our everyday lives. Drafting only men in this age group would take roughly 40% of those workers away from their vital jobs, affecting the safety of communities and states. Who would respond to active shooter calls? Who would respond to domestic violence calls? Who would respond to vehicle accidents? Who would investigate these crimes? Who would keep our jails in order? Therefore, we must draft women to keep our communities running safely and smoothly. Harm 3, utilizing different perspectives. Utilizing different perspectives. As I had stated in the beginning, the negative team has conceded this argument to the affirmative team. They have not mentioned anything in their 1NC concerning women with different perspectives. Women make up more than half the people on Earth. The militaries that do not consider gender perspectives in their strategies will be at a distinct advantage. A quote from the DoD. The DoD, or Department of Defense, says that militaries that don't utilize the unique perspectives of women are at a disadvantage. To keep our country one of the strongest in the world at an advantage, we must draft women for their unique perspectives. Our plan. Mandate. Able-bodied men and women, ages 18 to 25, should be required to register with the Selective Service and be liable for training and service until the age of 35. No 2 parents will be drafted in the same war. Failure to register is a felony punishable by a fine of up to $250,000 and/or 5-year imprisonment. Agency, the Senate Armed Service Committee. Enforcement, the Selective Service. Funding, there would not need to be a change in the financing because women would take the vacancies of some men. Advantages. Advantage 1, equality. Equality. On December 3rd, 2015, Secretary of Defense Ash Carter directed the full integration of women into the armed forces. Beginning in 2016, all military occupations and positions opened to women without exception. Since all roles are open to women, just like they are to men, we are discriminating against women by not drafting them. Advantage 2, more military personnel. more military personnel. 22.8% of the United States population is 18 to 34 years old. This is about 75.6 million people. This is about 75.6 million people who would be able to be drafted if we included women in the selective service. Advantage 3, utilizing different perspectives. A 2022 study conducted by Pew Research found the percentage of United States adults who, when seeing or hearing news about terrible things happening to people, personally feel the following often: sadness for those who are suffering. Women, 71%. Men, 53%. A desire to help those who are suffering. Women, 46%. Men, 34%. This study shows that women are much more compassionate than men. Think about it this way. Would you rather have compassionate leaders who care about the personnel under them, or would you rather have a leader who wants to get the mission done no matter the cost? Pickett's charge at Gettysburg in 1863 was one of the most needlessly bloody moments of the American Civil War. 15,000 Confederates under General Pickett charged the Union lines, and half of them were lost. But while the charge bears Pickett's name, it was General Lee who gave an order to assault an impossible target. Believing his men near invincible, he insisted that they assault the Union position on Cemetery Ridge against the better judgment of those around him. I personally would like a leader who cares about the men under her, and not one who needlessly throws away American lives. In conclusion, the affirmative team has demonstrated that the United States should amend the Military Selective Service Act to require the registration of women for the selective service. One of the core concepts of our nation, established by our founding fathers, is that all men are created equal. Women have fought for generations for equal rights. Therefore, not drafting women is unlawful discrimination. The United States population is unbalanced. There are more women than there are men, and the majority of people in protective service occupations are men. Finally, by drafting women, we would be utilizing different perspectives to ensure effective military operations. Therefore, my partner, Emily Forrest, and I, Zach Wilson, urge the judges to vote for the resolution. Thank you for your time. I am now ready for cross-examination.